In the grand and often paradoxical corridors of Ancient Bharat's mythological legacy, one tale strikes at the very heart of human desire, ambition, and the painful path to detachment. The story of King Yayati, a ruler so powerful and wise, yet ultimately undone by the eternal thirst for youth and pleasure. Long before the wars of Mahabharata, before the rise of the Pandavas and the Kauravas, Yayati stood as one of the most revered monarchs of the Chandra Vamsha, the lunar dynasty, and his tale serves not only as a personal tragedy, but as a profound allegory about karma, aging, and moksha. Yayati was born to Nahusha, a king who himself once ruled heaven as the temporary Indra, and Yayati inherited both ambition and righteousness in equal measure. He was a just ruler, celebrated for his intellect, valor, and devotion to Dharma. But like many kings of his era, his life would be shaped not only by his virtues, but also by the women he loved and the choices he made. Yayati had multiple wives, but among them, Devayani, the daughter of the powerful sage Shukracharya, was his chief queen. She came with not only beauty and devotion, but also the weight of her lineage. For Shukracharya, the master of life and death, held immense influence, and any insult to his daughter would shake kingdoms. Yayati's other wife was Sharmishtha, a princess of the Asura lineage, and once a maid to Devayani after a legendary quarrel. Despite the social disparity, Yayati secretly married Sharmishtha and bore children with her. When Devayani discovered this betrayal, her anguish was not merely personal, it was cosmic. She returned to her father, Shukracharya, whose rage knew no bounds. And in one moment, with a single curse, Shukracharya reduced Yayati to old age, his body withered, his strength drained, his youth forever lost, turning the once glorious king into a frail shadow. This curse would become a turning point in not just Yayati's life, but in the philosophical memory of Bharat. Stricken with sudden old age, Yayati did not rebel, but neither did he surrender. He approached his sons, one by one, and asked them to lend him their youth in exchange for his old age, so he could continue to fulfill his desires and experience worldly pleasures before seeking renunciation. Most refused, but one son, Puru, the youngest and most devoted, agreed. He took on his father's curse, allowing Yayati to reclaim his youthful form. Yayati then immersed himself in pleasure, desire, and the material world, ruling for years with renewed vigor. He had everything: power, women, wealth, luxury. But even after endless indulgence, he felt a strange emptiness within. And then came his moment of awakening. He declared to his court and family that desire is never quenched by indulgence, just as fire is not extinguished by pouring ghee into it. The more you feed it, the more it grows. These words, uttered thousands of years ago, still echo with timeless relevance. Having understood the futility of endless craving, Yayati returned his youth to Puru, blessed him as his rightful heir, and renounced the world. He retreated into the forest, embracing vanaprastha and tapasya, choosing the path of liberation over the illusion of kingship. His transformation from indulgent emperor to self-realized ascetic became a legendary symbol of inner awakening. But his legacy didn't end there. His son Puru's lineage would lead to Bharata, the great emperor after whom India, Bharat, is named, and eventually to the Kuru dynasty, from which the Mahabharata itself unfolds. Thus Yayati, through his fall and rise, becomes not just a character, but a spiritual pivot in the destiny of Dharma. The tale of Yayati is not about sin or punishment. It is about the inner war between karma, desire, and vairagya, detachment. It reflects the cycle all souls go through: the hunger for experience, the illusion of permanence, the suffering from attachment, And finally, the realization that true joy is not outside, but within. In a world obsessed with youth, where aging is feared and pleasure is glorified, Yayati's story is shockingly relevant. His journey shows that even kings cannot escape time, and even pleasure cannot fill the void left by spiritual hunger. Yayati is a mirror to modern civilization. Brilliant, ambitious, craving, and yet searching for something deeper after the glitter fades. In many ways, he is the most human of all ancient kings. Not because he was perfect, but because he erred, learned, and transformed. His tale appears in the Mahabharata, but its implications go beyond epics. It is a lesson in accepting impermanence, in honoring truth over convenience, and in understanding that true royalty lies not in ruling others, but in conquering the self. As with many legends from Ancient Bharat, the symbolism is layered. The curse as a spiritual test, the exchange of age as karmic transfer, the suns as reflections of duty, and the forest as a return to source. Even the presence of Shukracharya ties this story back to episode 11, showing how deeply intertwined the sages and kings were in shaping the dharma of our civilization. Today, as we rush through life, chasing fame, fortune, validation, and endless desires, may the story of Yayati remind us to pause, reflect, and ask, what is it I truly seek? And when will I be content? This is the legend of Yayati, the king who conquered kingdoms, but only found peace after conquering himself. A tale not of failure, but of profound victory over the ego, and a beacon for all who wish to walk the ancient yet eternal path from pleasure to peace